Hi Stampin' friends! Tonight we're going to use the Festive and Bright stamp set. It comes with these dies that cut out both sides of the stamp that goes in a column. So you can either use it by itself, or you can just cut one edge and make it so that the edge is the shape of the actual stamp here. So for example, the first thing I'll show you is this completed card that I did for a Halloween class. What I did with this, I only cut the one side and then just tucked the plain straight side under this ribbon. And then this just kind of gives it a nice edge. It probably would have better contrast had I put a solid here, like a solid orange, but I wanted to use this paper with the little spider, so you know, you could just kind of trade off of what you're gonna do. It also comes with these ghost cutouts. Now the way I did those is I cut them out and then I put a regular size 1/4 inch hole punch, you know, like you use for office supplies. I punched that out of black and put that behind their little eyes so that they would look extra spooky. And then of course the spooky, this actually comes with the set, this black cutout. That's part of the bundle as well. So you can see here that this makes a pretty easy card. I just added some pattern paper and made it into a design. I'm gonna show you a couple of different ideas. I think they'll have to be perfected later because I think that you could spend a lot of time with this set and do a lot of fun different things. So what I did, these are very long, so I think it's nice to use the Stamparatus to do your stamping. So what I did was I put both of these that I'm, you know, the one that you would say is for Thanksgiving and the one that you would say is for Christmas, I put them both on the Stamparatus piece at the same time, just so I could kind of do my stamping at the same time, if that makes sense. Well, now I'm looking for the black ink and it is trying to get away. Here we are. And I did use, because the pine stems are, they're made to be stamped in the color of ink that you originally ink it with. So they were stamped with shaded spruce, and then the apples I just did with black memento because I was imagining that I wanted to probably color them with blends for ease of getting things shaded and stuff like that. Okay, so there's that, and I'm just gonna, I guess I should have gotten bigger paper, but there we go. I think I usually scoot it down. But anyway, there you can see how I've stamped these, and this just makes it fairly easy. Actually, I think I meant to turn the paper the other way. But so what I did here was just cut these both at the same time. But you can see that I got a little far away on this edge, so it's probably better to do one, use Post-its to hold it down, and then do the other. So when you cut these out, they will also be usually a little bit too long for the paper, just a tiny bit. So what you can do is just kind of edge that out and make it where it fits more evenly on your piece of paper. So like here, there's a little edge that it's like it's fit perfectly, but just to make it where it doesn't hang over the edge, you can cut that one off. Another thing that I kind of suggest, once you're done with that, is cutting this along the edge with your scissors. Now, you could do this where you basically adhere this here and then use your little edge piece to cut this off. But it might be easier and less frustrating to actually just cut around the edge with your scissors, just to make your edge even. Whereas the one, this one that I had done before, I used the cut and just cut it like this and then actually put it out over the edge because I didn't want to see any black with this one. I wanted it to be cut behind it, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So to get that nice edge. But on this one, I would kind of like to have the edge show. So that's kind of what I mean, is you can get it exactly like you want it that way. So then once you've done that, oh wait, I did also want to show you when I was coloring these apples. I like my apples to be yellow and red. You could certainly just color these apples red and be done with it. But I wanted to kind of show you how I did my apples. So first I just kind of went over a couple of apples. I'm just going to do 2 or 3. I don't want to bore you. I went over the whole thing in yellow. Now the yellow I used was Light Daffodil Delight. You could use So Saffron because I picked up the So Saffron as well, just to have a good variety. And then I took the Light Poppy Parade and just added some red all around. But then what I wanted to do was leave some yellow showing. So when you first do it, it just looks goopy, like you haven't even really tried to color it, if that makes sense. Just kind of looks a mess. And then I went back over it a couple of times with my blend in a lighter color, in a light yellow, to just kind of blend it out. So there you can see I've added just kind of a little bit of edging, and so it makes it kind of smooth out. I don't know if that, I might need to hold that up where you can see. So I've just kind of smoothed that out. So once I'm finished with that, one thing you can do is go back with just a little bit. This is actually the Light Pumpkin Pie, to just make sure that there's not any parts that look like they're not sunshiny. And then I just went back in again with my Poppy Parade to add just a little bit more red. And it's just, as you put it on like for the millionth time, each time you do it, it is more blended and more even, if you can imagine that. So then you can see there how those turned out, and then you can see the full one where I've, imagined where the sun would be hitting it, where the sun might not have hit it, that kind of thing. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to want to do is probably use my Poppy Parade, which is a light clear red, kind of an orangey red, and I'm going to stamp the Blessed sentiment that was in this set just on a stitched rectangle that I thought fit fairly well. So I'll probably add that up at the top. I was imagining putting one of the other rectangles, probably one that would nest with this, in the Old Olive or the Pear Pizzazz. Just kind of, here, let me turn around where you can see. Just kind of under this, and maybe add some ribbons and things like that. So yeah, this is the one that comes with it, which looked great on the other one. I was just trying to show us a few different things, like if you have some other size sentiments you want to use, because the Blessed, it does fit in there, but it may be a little bit small looking. So just kind of, everybody looks at things differently. To me, it looked a little bit small. So what this also comes with is a little apple, and I did that in a couple of colors. So let's say you do that and you want to just add a couple of spots here, like that, and add some little matching leaves. But you could easily put these, right here on the edge like this, like put the little apple on. So yeah, super cute. But then you could also put your white liner inside and add a couple of apples in there. That's what I would suggest, because it just kind of gives it a little bit of a cuter look, if that makes sense. So that's an idea for this particular one. Then I wanted to use the Christmassy one. So I did a couple of different things. I started by imagining, what if I just use this? This is the Wintry embossing folders. It comes with two. One is snowflakes, and the other is this tree limb looking one that's like a pine bough. And what I was imagining with it was just putting it down the center and adding the edging on each side. So then I kind of was playing with it. I was trying to decide. So at first I did this direction. I kind of did, you know, like inked up the embossing folder in this way and imagined what I thought it would look like. And then of course, what I actually thought looked the best is inking the raised side, which means you end up with just the fronds in, and that's almost a perfect match, I think, with these little side bows here. Now, what you probably want to do, one end of it is like the end of a garland. The other end is sort of like the beginning. So you probably want to do it from top to bottom like this. Unless you're doing, if you do your card this way, then you'd probably want to alternate them. But my point in telling you this is I intentionally altered the colors so that they wouldn't be too matchy-matchy down the sides. And that's one of those things, if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't matter. But I just thought that that might be cute to have them not exactly the same. I definitely with this would want to go over this with a wink of Stella on the bulbs, because you definitely want there to be sparkle and shine on that. I would suggest, because these are such dark colors, that you go over the yellow first, and then probably the red, and then maybe the green, and then the blue. Follow my own rules here. And the reason for that is just in case sometimes when you're using this Wink of Stella, it can occasionally pick up color. So if it does that, you don't want to get it where it makes your shiny bright bulbs look muddy instead. So there's that. Green. So I still need to put blue on each one. Blue. Blue. And I might should have gone a little bit brighter on the blue that I chose, but I think you get the idea. It gives it a nice look. So then after that, I'm just gonna kind of scooch it aside. Well, I did want to show you this too. It also comes with these cutouts of bulbs. So that will also look great, like I said, around the particular image that you use for the center, putting these around there. But another thing you can do the green and then use what I did for this one, I used the garden green instead of the shaded spruce. Everything else is shaded spruce, but I used garden green for the green marker. I wanted to show you this marker. I've had my markers probably 15 or 16 years. This one must be an original because the end of that marker is so bad. And let me try to color it here. See how it's so bad on the end. Let's try to get it up where you can see. And what I recently did, since it's Celebration, I treated myself to a new thing of markers. And now I've got a brand new, gorgeous looking marker that I can use to color a little better now. So don't forget to treat yourself, I guess is my point on that, because that made me very happy to be able to get the matching marker on that. Okay, another thing this comes with are these little pine boughs, which would look really cute, again, around your sentiment in the middle. I would probably add a little bit of ribbon or a bow as well, probably in red, to kind of give that a little more of a look. So I'm gonna just go ahead here. I would suggest layering these on here like this. Let's see, am I making that where you can even see it? And so that your bulb is this and then the other stays green, because then it'll really look like actual big bulbs. And then you can draw on with your shaded spruce marker, you can draw on a little bit of string between them and kind of make them in a row. You could make them like the entire top of your card as well. So like, let me see here. I didn't cut these in all the colors, but I think I cut enough that you'll be able to see what I mean by that. You could just make an entire, make the whole point of the card basically using these cute little guys as your main image. and just add a sentiment like that. So there you can see those. So I could just see putting those on across the top and then drawing little curly, you know, like loopy strands of wire between those. Okay, now I'm just going to get my Stamparatus again, and I'm going to take off where I was inking up earlier and put on here. Let's see, maybe where is there it is. Oh, and I had a template that I made myself, but I didn't bring it over here. Okay, let's just put this on here. Kind of imagine, and then trying to imagine what this looks like. I think I would like to have it be red. So I'm going to get my Poppy Parade again, and real red would look gorgeous too. I just happen to like how bright the Poppy Parade was with this one. And then just stamp it right on there. Didn't quite get it as bright as I wanted, so I'll just try to stamp it again. Now if I'd put my, I may double stamp this. Kind of interesting to see. Yeah, a little bit, but that's all right. I actually kind of like it. That would be a gorgeous technique to do, to slightly offset it. Now here's what I mean by that. If you used the yellow and slightly offset it, it would look like it was almost just shining like a light bulb. So, but I think you're getting the idea here. I'll perfect it before I post it on my blog, don't worry. So tucking it in there like that and having these side pieces come over. Maybe another little piece. Whoops, didn't mean to get that guy. There we go. Maybe from each direction. Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to fuss with this a little bit, but adding just a few little bulbs to make it cute. So I think this set is going to be a lot of fun to use, and I'm also going to want to show you some other different ideas. I think as I play with this over this weekend, there's so many ideas that I just hope I can finish enough to show you. So remember, we did the apples and we did the Christmas, and of course originally I showed you my card that I had made for local class, and this is the pretty trim, the silver trim that I put to make it look like the ghosts were kind of moving or whatever. So there are a lot of ways to use this edging, and if you don't mind the little bit of extra work, it is a lot of fun to use. In a couple weeks, it will be World Card Making Day, so I hope that you're able to stop by for some of that. I haven't exactly finalized my plans yet, but I do want to do some fun things online for that. So I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a fun weekend. Bye-bye.